Actor Tristan Rogers has appeared on some of your favorite daytime dramas, including General Hospital and, of course, The Young and the Restless. And he's teamed up with other daytime stars in the Amazon Prime series. I'm going to call it a hit, Studio City. Tristan, nice to have you here.
Nice to be here.
All right, Studio City is kind of an interesting experiment in what you would call kind of a look at daytime dramas, right? Tell me about that.
I'll go back, digress a little bit.
Sure.
The last great leap forward in the daytime genre was General Hospital in 1980-81, and it was a massive leap forward. Prior to that,
It was a huge soap.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the woman that created that, Gloria Monty, was actually hired to prepare the show for cancellation. And she had another idea altogether.
Really?
The ABC never saw that coming. Then all of a sudden, bang, they found that they had a monstrous hit on their hands that came out of left field. And the other shows, the other soaps that were around at the time, kind of reluctantly followed. A lot of people didn't like what we'd done. That they felt that we were messing with the traditional art form that shouldn't be.
What was so different about it?
Well, they took the whole concept out of the studio and started doing a lot of location work. And then they took the storylines out of the studio and had them made worldly, like on the borderline of science fiction. And a lot of people really didn't like that. And then they went a step further than that and started to go out of the country to do storylines and actually film them. And a lot of people really didn't like that. So all around, although they kind of begrudgingly said, okay, well, let's do this. Let's follow what they're doing. Let's become part of it and enjoy the success.
Sure.
Overall, there wasn't a massive embracing of what we were doing back then. And the one thing everybody kind of got wrong is they all felt, well, we'll just have two dysfunctional kids on the run and that'll be it, Luke and Laura. No. It's more than that.
It's a lot more
than that.
Deeper than that, yeah.
But a lot of people couldn't get past that. So that benefited us. They would look at General Hospital and they'd go, you know, it's different, but we don't know why it's different. We can't point to any one thing.
How about that?
And so, you know, it moved on. It didn't last long. A lot of people thought that it lasted all the way through the 80s. In actual fact, it was over after the Luke and Laura wedding. And it gradually started to taper off, the interest tapered off. People weren't as crazy about rushing home to watch it on television, et cetera, until by the time we got to 83, the big movement was over, but there was still a lot of interest in the show. And, you know, well, I lasted for 14 years on it. Finally I threw in the towel. I had enough.
Yeah. You had the Scorpio character, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And Scorpio was like, you know, he was a daytime James Bond, and a lot of people caught on to that.
Yes, he was.
They liked the idea. I was definitely different. I sounded different. I carried myself differently. And this clicked with the audience.
Yeah.
And it still does, actually.
Of course it does. So now you're doing this, is it a parody of daytime drama?
No, far from it. You might look at what we're doing on Studio City as the next leap forward. Not a giant leap forward like General Hospital was, because General Hospital kind of used up a lot of the things that had never been done before. Stuff we're doing now is far more subtle because we've got more production value. And the reason we have more production value is because we're on a 10-minute format. We're there pretty much for the 18 to 35-year-olds.
Right.
This is a public acknowledgement that, yes, you people 18 to 35 are distracted, and we know that unless we get your miserable attention in the first 10 to 15 seconds, we've lost you. Boom, go on.
Welcome to the new world,
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So at the moment, this is targeted for a cell phone type platform. But I think Sean Kanan, the writer, his idea is for it to be 30 minutes, which is actually just 3 10-minute brackets put together. We can still do it. We can still shoot it and write it around a 10-minute format.
Are you enjoying it?
Oh, hell yeah.
Why are you enjoying it? Because it's quick and it goes. You go through it.
Actually, no, it's not quick. There's a lot more production value, which means you're sitting around doing nothing for a while they get
While
it
they
right.
set the shots and stuff. Yeah.
And the lighting is different. If you've watched it, it's.
I have watched it.
My first scene on the show was lit with candles and fairy lights, and that's
Really?
it. Wasn't a 10K in sight, and that's all it was. And it gave the scene a degree of gravitas and depth that you would never normally get in a daytime show.
So tell me where we can see Studio City for those who are watching.
If you've got Amazon Prime, tune in, go to search, and then type in Studio City and it'll pop up.
I see a lot of beautiful people when I do that. It's really interesting.
Oh, yes.
A lot of good-looking people. Tristan, great to have you here.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you. And Studio City is the name of the program. Check it out.